Hello BookTube, Chelsea's Reads here. I know, the worst thing a new blog can possibly do is to not update every week or to have some sort of regular schedule, and unfortunately that would be me. I did just take on a third job, so things have been a little bit crazy, but I finally have some downtime to make another video. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to everyone who's commented on my other videos and who has subscribed. I really appreciate it. Second, I hope everyone that does watch this video has had a nice Thanksgiving. I know I did. So for today, I'd like to go over my November book haul. And for this haul, I have 15 books. And I don't know if that's big or small compared to other people's standards, but for me, it's quite a bit. The order that these are in, or the order I grabbed them off my bookshelf. Alright, first up, I have Once Upon a Time, Red's Untold Story. It is from the Once Upon a Time TV show. It's written by Wendy Tolifer, and I hate the shape of this book. Do you see how it's shorter? It's square instead of rectangle. It's not going to fit very well on a shelf. It's awkward. But I do like the black pages on the side. I thought that was kind of interesting. But it's not black on the inside. My TBR list is so long, so I don't know when I'm going to get to this book, but I am looking forward to it because Ruby/Red is one of my favorite characters in Once Upon a Time, and this is all about her, and I think it's supposed to take place during or before season 1, that kind of arc, but I'm really looking forward to diving into that. Next we have Black Widow Forever Red by Margaret Stohl. Margaret Stohl is one of the co-authors of the Beautiful Creatures series, and I love that series, so I'm really hoping she did Black Widow justice. Black Widow is one of my favorite female superheroes. I'm very much into comics, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this particular adventure. I've read some of the ARC reviews, and they didn't sound like amazed or blown away by this book, so I'm very interested to see how it goes. I'm going to go with an open mind and excitement because, like I said, Black Widow is one of my favorite female superheroes. I'm so happy that Marvel's coming out with actual novels of characters. I think that's an awesome idea. I'm really looking forward to this. Next, we have The Further Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Angel of the Opera by Sam Siciliano. I don't know. I have read this book before, back in like the 7th or 8th grade when I was first getting into Phantom of the Opera, and I love Sherlock Holmes, and for him to do a Phantom of the Opera mystery was amazing. Of course, it's not the original author. I do remember enjoying it. I will reread this now that I'm older and have more of an appreciation for reading, for mysteries, for the Phantom of the Opera lore, for Sherlock Holmes lore, and we'll see how this goes. But it probably won't be read for a really long time because, like I said, I have read this before, and there's books that I own that I have never read that need to be read that will come first. Next is Never Never by Brianna R. Shrum. It is a retelling of Peter Pan that I've seen ARC reviews on Goodreads that say if you're a Captain Hook fan, if you're a Peter Pan fan, that this was decently done. And I love retellings. So it's kind of a given that I would pick this up, especially because it was more about Captain Hook, and I really am a Captain Hook fan. Again, I have so many books on my TBR. I can't promise how soon this is going to be read, but it's one I'm looking forward to reading. I mean, and that cover is so pretty. It has kind of a mysterious feel to it. I think that was part of the appeal about buying it right away. Then we have Book 3 of the White Rabbit Chronicles, which is The Queen of Zombie Hearts by Gina Showalter. I think it's Gina, not Jenna. It is was the last book in a trilogy, but I think a book 4 just came out. I have not read the first 2 books in the series. It is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. And again, I really love retellings. I love the cover art for these books. I just think they're so cool looking. I have read a book by Jenna Showalter before, and I enjoyed it, so I'm thinking that these are going to be good. Like I said, the author was pretty decent in her other book, so I figured I'd give these a try, and since this just came out in paperback, it was right in front of my face, and I was like, well, might as well buy it. So I did. And I'm looking forward to the series. Next is Welcome to Night Vale by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor? I don't know. Funny story behind this book is I went to Barnes & Noble to buy other books, and when she was bagging everything, she just happened to throw this book in there. There was a stack of them, I'm assuming to be stocked or, as a display or something. And I didn't notice it until I got into my car, so I ran back in to return it. And the girl was like, just keep it. Merry Christmas. So, I did not pay for this book. And I'm not really familiar with the Night Vale podcast, but I've heard really excellent things about it. I listened to the first episode of the podcast to try to get a feel of it, and it was creepy, and I was really confused. I'll probably listen to a little bit more of it before I dive into this book. Again, ARC reviews are very favorable for it, and the cover is kind of cool looking. Very purple, very mysterious looking. But I probably wouldn't have picked it up if it hadn't been slipped into my bag. So if anybody knows anything about this book, about this podcast, and wants to warn me about it before I dive into here, let me know. Next is I Hunt Killers by Barry Lyga, I think. So the story behind this one was I saw the third book, which is called Blood of My Blood. And that looked so scary and creepy. I was like, oh my god, I want to buy it. But luckily, before I bought it, I saw on the very bottom, it said it was the final book in the I Hunt Killers trilogy. And I went back and I found, obviously, book 1 to buy. And apparently it's about a boy whose father's a serial killer. And he, I think, wants to stop his dad. I don't know. It sounded like YA Dexter almost. So it might be interesting. Hopefully it's worth the read. I don't know. I think it sounds really cool. And I'm glad I bought it. Next is Cinder by Marissa Mayer. The last book in the Lunar Chronicles I know was just published. And because so many people were going so crazy and were so excited about it, I was like, I gotta figure out what this series is all about. I know I had picked this book up before, looked at the back, and when I found out it was about like androids or like robots or something, I just was not. I wasn't intrigued by it. And like I said, it wasn't until all the hype over this last book came out that I decided to go out and pick the series up, that maybe I should start reading it. So I'm gonna give it a try because it is a retelling. But I'm not really into sci-fi, so I don't know how this is going to go. Don't be mad if I don't like it, anybody. Next is Oblivion by Kelly Cray. It is the third book in the Nevermore series, trilogy, I don't know. I think right now it's just a trilogy. And I have not read books 1 or 2 yet. But it is sort of a retelling, or it has ties to Edgar Allan Poe. The first one being Nevermore. And I think the covers this cover looks really bad, but the first 2 covers were really good. And pretty looking, and again, really intriguing sounding. And because this book was just published and Barnes & Noble my Barnes & Noble, the one by me, is very bad about keeping books in stock, especially ones that just come out. So I figured it was right there. I should just get it while I could find it and not test my luck later down the road. So I got it. Next is Captivated by You by Sylvia Day. The story behind this one's very similar to the Oblivion. I own the first 3 books because this is book 4 in the Crossfire series. And I bought the first 3 books in a box set because at the time it was just a trilogy. This book was published earlier this year, I want to say, maybe even last year. And Barnes & Noble's been very inconsistent with having it in stock. So again, once they had it in stock, I was like, well, I might as well get it now because when I need it, you know, I don't know if they're going to have it. It is a romance. It's supposed to be like, if you liked 50 Shades of Grey, try these out. They're supposed to be better than 50 Shades of Grey. And I do like the occasional romance, so that's why I started buying the Crossfire series. I think there's supposed to be one more book published, and that's going to be the actual end. But we'll see. Hopefully it ends up being worth the investment. Next is George by Alex Gino. Once again, I bought this merely because of the hype around it. From what I understand, it is about a little boy that is transgender and thinks he's a little girl on the inside, or knows that he's actually a girl trapped in a boy's body. And it is sold in the children's section, so it's middle grade fiction. And I think that is so cool that they're publishing this sort of literature for people so young. And I wanted to read it and figure out what it was all about because I heard amazing things about this. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Again, it's kind of low on the TBR list, but I am looking forward to eventually getting to this book. Next we have The Crimson Peak, with the screenplay by Guillermo del Toro and Matthew Robbins, but the novelization is by Nancy Holder. I hate novelizations. I hate movie tie-in books. I really think that if it's a movie first and people try to make it a book, it usually sucks. But The Crimson Peak was so good. Like, it was such a good movie that I could not resist it. And it was only like $7 at Meijer, so I was not strong enough to walk away from this. Because, again, the movie was so good. And I'm really praying that this is like a novelization that will defy expectations and actually be worth it. Hopefully. This next book I bought on Black Friday because Barnes & Noble had exclusive signed editions. And I wanted to go in the morning, but I had plans with my family from out of town that prevented me from getting there early enough to get there right when they opened. So what I wanted was a signed copy of either The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton or The Phantom Tollbooth, but of course they're sold out. But I knew I wasn't going to leave without getting a signed copy. So I got a signed copy of Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. And you can see the signature. I'll show you right there. I have not read this, but again, I heard really good things about it. I was not a Fault in Our Stars fan, but I was told, don't worry, this is better. So I hope it actually is. I really hope so. I'm going to be really upset if it's not, because I bought a signed copy of it. Yeah, it was definitely an impulse buy, but I was not walking out there with a signed copy. I heard good things about this. I did not already own a copy, so I can't justify paying money for a book I already own just because it has a signature on it. I don't make that kind of money. So I am looking forward to this because I heard it was funny and sad and just good. Hopefully. Another Black Friday buy for my last two are my 2 favorite books that I probably bought this month without fail, and it is the Barnes & Noble exclusive collector's leather-bound copy of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. As you can see, is beautiful with the gold emblem pages. which you can't see in my horrible lighting. Oh, there, you can see it like that. There's the back, Atticus, Gem, and Scout. I am an English major, so books like this are like so special to me. I mean, any bookworm I think can appreciate a beautiful leather-bound copy of a book like this, but To Kill a Mockingbird especially, because not only do I enjoy reading it, but I really love teaching it. And this book is so special, I think, to so many people, because even reluctant readers get into it. It's truly timeless, and to get such a good deal on Black Friday for it was worth it. And my last book was definitely my favorite book that I bought this month, and it is just so pretty. I can't stop looking at it. It's going to get a special place on my shelf, and that is the exclusive Barnes & Noble collector's leather-bound edition copy of The Wrinkle in Time Trilogy by Madeleine L'Engle. I don't know how to say her name. See? Behold its beautifulness. No, seriously, it's gorgeous. I love it. It has, well, I say all three, but I think actually Wrinkle in Time is a quartet. Then there's four, but people like to pretend the fourth one's not part of it because it has to do with twins and not Meg and Charles Wallace. Confession, I actually only really remember reading A Wrinkle in Time 50 times. I think I've read the second book, A Wind in the Door, a long time ago, but I know I've never read A Swiftly Tilting Planet, which is the last book in the trilogy. But this is so pretty. I mean, look at it. And the side is even prettier. You got the spectacles. And you go all the way down and you have the ant on the tesseract. Or the ant on the string to show the tesseract. It is so pretty. I am so in love with this. It has, again, the gold pages that are pretty. And this book is just so perfect. I'm so happy. I'm never going to give it up. Yep, that's it. Thank you for watching and seeing what I bought this month. Next month it might be significantly less than what I have now because I'm going to be buying Christmas presents for everybody else. Maybe my family will wake up and realize that all I really want for Christmas is books. And maybe I'll be surprised and have more books than I think I will. But if you have read any of the books that I've showed you today, please share in the comments below and tell me what you thought, what I'm getting myself into. As always, please check out my link in the description below for my Goodreads account so you can see my review on these books and many others. I'm going to try to post a video by next week doing my overview of what I read in this past month. So we'll see what Chelsea's read. Thank you very much. Bye.